And we'll double record with GoToWebinar and Camtasia. Audio. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming on for this Q&A session. I'm going to make this pretty informal here. And what I'll do is I'll just start inviting you guys. Well, first of all, I got just a couple things to go over. And then I'll just kind of invite you guys one by one if you want to come on and get you on here so we can go over what you got and I can give you some feedback. Like I said, we're going to keep this pretty informal, so I'm going to keep the questions in the chat open. So if something happens, like you guys can't see me, or if my audio comes out, I'll keep looking at this. So you guys just let me know because I've had some issues with GoToWebinar lately. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well on a Sunday night. Just a few things I wanted to go over when doing PPV, and it's stuff I've noticed just from reviewing some campaigns and where people are getting stuck. So, and it's probably going to be a theme we might see with some of your guys' stuff tonight. And it's going to be essentially one of the biggest ones is the no avatar to URL match. So I'm seeing a lot of people that they're not getting leads. They're spending money, and not getting many leads at all. And then we go and we take a look at it. We find out that, you've got the wrong URL on. You've got the wrong bunch of URLs on there, or your avatar is not matching URLs. One of the big things is you want to make sure that the people that you're targeting, so say if you're targeting network marketers, for example, that particular person is going to be visiting that particular URL. Also, the cut and paste mentality, and honestly, that doesn't really apply, I don't think, to anybody I've seen on here, but I've noticed that a lot of people, and unfortunately, it might have been partly my fault too, is one of the bonuses for the PPV course that I pasted, and I gave everybody a list of 4,500 URLs that I had scraped from the site I Am Report Card, which was a mix of internet marketing sites, MLM sites, and whatnot. Well, what ended up happening is a lot of people just took that, copied it, pasted it in there, and sent all those traffic to a attraction marketing formula or offer, which ends up being very untargeted when you do something like that, because only a small amount of those URLs were network marketing related. And obviously, if you look at the AMF headlines, it's very much network marketing centered, or network marketing centered. So, that's one of those things. Like I said, you guys all do pretty good on here. So from the people I've seen, so I don't think it was really a problem with you guys doing that. And then the last one, obviously, tracking. I think you guys are all doing tracking as well, but I've seen some people on here that just don't institute tracking. And obviously, if you're using the EMP system, you know by now that in order to get your tracking in there, you have to use the EMP capture page builder. The capture pages that they give you, the pre-done ones, you can't put tracking in those things. So that's one of the big things. And the other one I wanted to go over with is just one of the big problems I've seen people with the AMF campaign, running AMF campaigns, and basically a network marketing biz op avatar, and it's somebody that's already an MLM company or a biz op. Now, when I say MLM company, they could be in something like Amway or Herbalife or World Ventures, Wake Up Now, or biz op. A big one right now is Mob or Empower Network. These companies, the people that are in these, they go from company to company. So I think what you're going to see is like a lot of them are going to be switching back and forth. So I found that, if you can target sites where these people are going to be, that's going to work really well with the network marketing message, because they're going to understand those words in your campaign, or I'm sorry, those words in your headline, like getting leads, recruiting reps, downline, upline, auto ship, and what have you. But anyway, it's somebody that's already going to be in one of those companies, and it's what are they looking for? Leads. They want to know how to recruit reps. They want their own company solution. They go to events like No Excuses Summit, for example, or live the dream. They read books like Magnetic Sponsoring or Eric Worre's books. And for PPV, now what we found is the avatar for that does have a limited pool. So one of the biggest things that um, people have gotten stuck on is they'll go ahead and they'll take the attraction marketing formula pages, and what they'll do is they'll just go out and they'll find all the websites for network marketing websites. So I will tell you just from experience, some of those network marketing websites do work. They do have actual network marketers going to them. However, you're going to find a lot of them don't. And I'll show you why and just give you a few examples right here. So one of the big ones I see people, they go to beachbody.com. And Beachbody, it's a multi-level marketing company. It's they get people in, they do their Beachbody coach thing. But though, if you go to that actual website, beachbody.com, it's essentially it's a place where you can buy Insanity, P90X2, P90X3, all. I mean, it's exercise. It's basically what this is. So anybody that wants to order P90X, which you see that's all over the television, for example, is going to be going to beachbody.com. So while you may get a few network marketers in here, and if a network marketer came in, they'd probably have to find, they may not, this may not even be the page where they'd go to sign up to be a Beachbody coach or whatever they call them. They'd have to look around quite a bit. So just looking at this page, you're not getting a whole lot of network marketers coming to this thing. You're getting a lot of people that want to lose weight. They want to get into shape. Another one I see a lot of people were popping on was Mary Kay. So let's just, and that one never got a whole lot of good results. So Mary Kay, much bigger than and I think it's this MK Parties that might, or be a beauty consultant, that might be it. That's how they get people into their MLM, or find an independent consultant. But anyway, you're gonna see like the people that come to this thing, a small percentage, maybe 1%, are actually network marketers. I mean, this is people that have been recommended to come to go get more beauty beauty makeovers, yada yada yada. So I mean, obviously ones like these are going to be untargeted. Now let's go to World Ventures. This one, now this one might be one that gets a little bit more, obviously it gets a little bit more targeted traffic. And I've noticed I've had a little more luck with something like this, like World Ventures, where the opportunity part is right up here. It's easier to see that, and it's not necessarily something where you're going to find a lot of people are going to be coming to it looking for vacations. Generally, if you're in World Ventures, if you're coming to this page, you probably at least know about the opportunity somewhat. So I guess my advice to you on this is, if you want to use network marketing company websites, you got to really, I would go to each one and just look and see, do you think somebody in network marketing is going to actually come to this? Because some of these, like Amway, like Herbalife, they're going to get a ton of traffic. But the problem is if it's only getting 1%, you're going to be blowing through a lot of money just to get a single lead. So you know what, it doesn't mean you can't make those work. And you know what, if those do, those leads, they're probably very targeted. But just a heads up, because I do see a lot of people just going to these network marketing websites and they're not always very targeted. So if you want to use these websites, I would say go to each one first. Gary, let's see. They discourage any outside influence. They're very much dislike internet marketing, even their stuff. That's interesting. How do they put up with Ray Higdon then? He does a lot of internet marketing. Yeah. So, but what you basically want to do is you want to consider, is a network marketer going here? So let's just look down, because I Googled World Ventures. So here's an example. This one right here, backoffice.worldventures.biz. Okay, obviously this is the login, and Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the login where you could go. I mean, pretty much every multi-level marketing company is going to have something like this. Now, will this get as much traffic as something like worldventures.biz or worldventures.com? No. But what it will get is a lot more targeted traffic. So, you may not get a whole lot of media traffic on this. What I think you want to do if you want to run something like this, you want to move to 50 on red. I think you'll be able to get some hits on 50 on red or traffic vans with something like this. Media traffic, probably not a whole lot. But this would definitely be a much more targeted URL. You won't get a lot of it, but I'm going to guarantee you that the leads you're going to get, they're going to be better, and they're probably going to be cheaper than if you go to actual like worldventures.com or I'm sorry, Gary, I was just reading your comment. If you go to like actual worldventures.com or any network marketing site. So here's what I want to say. Just if you want to use these websites, do a little research into each of them. Don't just blindly put them up there. And one other thing that I found can work too is using the screenshot method I detail in my in the course. And that's basically all I do is take just a screenshot, a Jing screenshot right here, and superimpose it on the background of whether I'm using the EMP capture page builder or the lead pages. I tend to use both. All right. If you guys have any questions about that, just curious, who would like to go first? Does anybody have stuff they want to have reviewed? I can bring you on to the webinar, or if you'd really wait, if you want, if I can bring you on the webinar, or if you're really shy, you can give me some links and post them in the questions right here, and we'll take a look at them. Let's see, Patrick. Patrick, can you explain retargeting and how does it affect your campaign budget, i.e. will your pop campaign go to targets you are not bidding on when retargeting, and is it a default bid amount? Also, if I set my campaigns not to be shown the same user 12 hours, that it's applied to the retarget as well. So, Patrick, I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but when I do retargeting, what a lot I'll do is I'll place the retargeting pixel on my capture page and then on my thank you page, and then I use it for to promote to that audience in another, not PPV, but in something like Facebook or in like a banner ad. As far as retargeting again on PPV, I don't think there is a way. I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to ask me there. Martin, yeah, scraped a ton of opportunity business login sites and had much luck on media traffic, so that's helpful. Yeah, Martin, media traffic, I mean, the whole thing behind media traffic, the idea is go in there, you want to, take $200, learn how to do PPV, because if you jumped on 50 on red and tried to do that, you'd probably lose your money pretty quickly if you had no PPV experience. That's why we encourage just going through media traffic, getting a little bit of experience, getting some leads. Once you're comfortable, then you move up to 50 on red, because the media traffic is just smaller. So you're not going to get near the amount of impressions you would on 50 on red. Steve, got questions, but nothing to really be reviewed. Okay, Steve, okay, here we go. How frequently do you change your ads for a URL? It really depends, Steve. What I like to do typically is okay, so for let me tell you what we were doing for attraction marketing formulas. So basically what we decided to do is we decided to target network marketers. So I stayed away from a lot of internet marketing sites, and I basically concentrated on some different things. I concentrated on, let me write this down for you guys. So what did I concentrate on? I concentrated on certain MLM sites, and keep in mind, I did have to test those MLM sites. So I found out ones that were working. Now I stayed away from obvious ones that I knew weren't going to work, like Amway, Herbalife, Mary Kay, Pampered Chef, where I know there's a lot of not MLM people going to. But then there were other ones that were smaller, like Zervita, for example, or Isogenic. So what I would do with those MLM sites is I would honestly, just as I was telling you, I would use that screenshot method, and I would post it to the background. And then I would go through and I would have a couple different headlines. I'd rotate a couple different headlines in there, and for collecting the URLs, I would go through and I'd collect maybe the top Google results as far as the URLs go. And I would do a couple different keywords in my Google results surrounding those URLs. So, like, I wanted to make sure I got the logins in there. I wanted to make sure I got any like events, possible events in there as well. And that's how I tested MLM sites, and that's how I found some work really well. And when you find the ones that work, you get good leads, you get buyers from those. So that's what I did as far as testing MLM sites. Then I did BizOps because the language of the capture page was such as recruit or get more people into your opportunity. So people in BizOps like Mob, for example, or you could probably say like MLSP would be another BizOp. There's a whole list of them. These people they've been in MLMs before, they've been in BizOps, so they know the language. I targeted those as well. Then I also targeted traffic lead sites. So basically, any place where people and it would probably more apply to MLM or I'm sorry, BizOp people. The people in the BizOps, they love buying places like they go to get solo ads. It's a perfect one, like Diggins Home Business Agency. That's a place you can go buy expensive solo ads from. What was another one? Safe Swaps is another one. Even the Warrior Forum, and I can't remember if the Warrior Forum worked or not, but a lot of people go to buy solo ads from the Warrior Forum. So I think it's in the Warrior Forum classified ads, but there's people going there and they're buying traffic because they're in an opportunity. They want to get traffic to their site. They want to get traffic to their capture page. So you put your message in there that speaks to the language they already know. That's how you're going to get them in. I mean, you have a very captive audience when you have somebody at those sites. Another one I went to, MLM, should say MLM and BizApp blogs. So I don't need to, I could tell you guys, like, the big ones out there, Ray Higdon, Eric Worre's Network Marketing Pro. You've got some other ones out there, like, Dagan Smith has a blog, Matt Lloyd has a blog. Start looking at those because a lot of those aren't necessarily. A lot of those are good, and don't necessarily have a lot of competition. So, also traffic blogs as well. A lot of those people, they'll have people with MLM messages going to it as well. So that's how we kind of got that's how we did our AMF campaigns, and I had to get kind of ultra targeted for those. It wasn't a matter of getting 5,000 URLs from everywhere, just throwing at the wall what sticks. Now, I can tell you if I was running a campaign for something like internet marketing, or if I wanted to run a campaign for just Elite Marketing Pro, or they've got the new acceleration program they're going to be launching here soon. That's more entrepreneur focused, or more want to start a online business or want to build passive income focused. I would definitely be putting a lot more broader interest, such as make money on anything from make money online, emails, blogs. I mean, stuff like johnchow.com. I mean, there's a much bigger world, and that's how I would do that. But for MLM, you got to get kind of targeted and very focused on that one. But to answer your question, Steve, how frequently do I change my ads for my URL? So for this particular campaign, we had 3 different headlines we were testing. We were doing really well. We started out, I want to say, when we had a bunch, we were like at $6 a lead, and I whittled that down after about a month to $1 a lead. And that was going great for about a month, and now I start to see it go back up. So once I start to see it go back up for a decent amount of time, once it got back up to about like $2.50, $3 a lead, I'm like, okay, well, obviously my people have seen my capture pages enough. They got to see something new. So that's when I decide I'm going to turn off the traffic for a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I come up with some new headlines, or maybe I move on to a different offer. So I would say you want to look at it over a long period of time. So let me let me show you how I kept track, and I don't want to give you, I don't want Fernie to get mad at me by giving up copies. Let me see if I can find my old mode results I was running a long time ago. Because I just want to show you guys the spreadsheet that I was using and how I was just tracking cost per lead. No. There we go. So this is probably close to a year ago when I was doing stuff, but you could see I would generally run, and that's Facebook. Let me put up a PPV here. All right, so this is about a year ago, and basically what you could see, and this is how I would track things. And so what I did, I essentially have the date, the traffic source, and I kept one tab open for pretty much the whole traffic source. So you probably don't really need to put the traffic source down in there if you don't want to. How much I spent, how many leads I got, the cost per lead, because I always wanted to focus on the cost per lead, the number of sales made, items sold, and the revenue of each item. And let me go down to the bottom here, which for this campaign, what I focused on right here is obviously the total amount of the ad spend, how many leads we got. So when I was doing my totals, I would look at like the average cost per lead, the average cost per action when somebody bought something, and the average value per lead. And what I really concentrated on was getting this average value per lead more than the average cost per lead. Now, when you first start out, and pretty much when I start out with just about any campaign, this cost per lead is always going to be higher than this value per lead. And that's just because people don't know you yet. They haven't been through your funnel. It takes them time to buy. Obviously, if you do something like a webinar, that's going to drive up this value per lead right here. But it's what you basically always want to strive for when you're doing a PPV campaign and whittling it down into something that's really, really good, something that's profitable for you, is you want to get this value per lead more than the cost per lead. Because once you do that, guys, I mean, you just keep you've got a PPV campaign that continues to work, and you just keep running it, and it's like put money in, get more money out. It's your magic slot machine, but it takes a little bit of time to get there. So you've got to start off, and I would say 98% of the time when you start a PPV campaign, you're going to start in the hole, just because of the fact that people aren't through your funnel yet. So I can tell you one of the best things that I've done for all the different campaigns I've run for, well, this was back when I was doing stuff for Ray, back when Ray was with No Excuses, is putting in webinars. Webinars drives up that value per lead totally. So one of the best things I did is I found like a webinar that Tim did on EMP, and at the time I didn't know how to write a webinar. I couldn't write sales copy worth anything, but I basically found the webinar Tim did on EMP. I downloaded it and then turned it into an MP3 and had it transcribed. So I then kind of turned the webinar into my own. So basically, I had a webinar that somebody had already done that I adapted to my own. That way, I didn't have to go creating one from scratch. Obviously, with my own slides, I put in my own story in there, but it was the basic sales process. But then I actually had a script I could read off of. So it was kind of like once I got that webinar, I knew that webinar was just like, bam, I did it 1 week, and I'd do it every couple of weeks, and would bring in some money every few weeks. So that's what's really going to get that value per lead up, is when you can do that as they're going through your funnel. So with that said, let's go. Cool. Martin makes sense. It will be our secret. Steve, did that kind of answer your question? I'm sorry, that was a little longer and probably a lot more information than you wanted. That was good. Does anybody have? Give me some more questions, you guys. I want to know how you guys are doing on your PPV campaigns. You guys are all my favorite students. You're all on here. All right, Martin, let's take a look at your capture page. Okay. So it's not bad. Um, I still like it because this is what I have right here, and I'm not sure if this translates onto your guys' screen or not, but this is going to be about the size, roughly the size of the pop-up that's going to come up on 50 on red. Offhand, I don't remember what the size of the pop-up is on media traffic. So at the very least, you've got your headline here, and you've got your um, you've got your opt-in above the fold. You know, if it was down here, I'd say no, but it's up here. Here's what I would do. I'd get rid of this. This is Attraction Marketing Formula Bootcamp. It looks odd and out of place that it's up here. I know that in fact there is a way you can put it down here. I've seen people do it before. And again, I'm not a whiz with the capture page creator. I know if you guys go in the EMP group, the Facebook group, they'll have some be able to help you better with that. I would get that out of here. So this moves up closer to the top because think about this. This pops up on your computer. You've got 3 seconds to get that person's attention, and they basically want to get them to opt in, and they're like, what is this? Their eye goes straight to this Attraction Marketing Formula Bootcamp, and I think, so what? I'd really like to see you just get rid of this totally. Or here's what I would do: take the Attraction Marketing Formula Bootcamp, put that down here, and then also have one where you just get rid of this totally, but at least so your headline moves up to the top. Now, I will tell you, I don't remember if it was with this headline or not, but we did split test having the Attraction Marketing Formula Bootcamp right below the headline, this little image right here, right below the headline, and then having it with, and it made absolutely no difference. It was scary because the impressions and leads out of tens of thousands of impressions that we ran, 20 some thousand, 30 some thousand, it literally came up with the same amount of leads. So having this in here, whether or not, doesn't make a difference. I can tell you that from split testing just personally. So I would not focus on this. If you really want this in here, I would move it below the headline. Headline's good. At some point, you guys might want to consider getting a little more creative. You know, maybe posting. If you're in the acceleration group, you know, posting some headlines in the acceleration group. Just because I know a lot of people are starting to use this one right here. I don't think you need to worry about it. I don't think it's tired yet. However, I know a lot of people are using that particular headline. This is good right here. Basically, you want this to be small, to enter your email below, but you do want to have that in there. Yeah, I mean, this is good. I say, Martin, just get rid of this. Either get rid of the Attraction Marketing Formula Bootcamp or move it below the headline. And I think you will be well on your way. I like how you have the free and absolutely free right here, bolded in different color. Yeah. Pesky space between the headline and the CTA. I can't figure out how to get. Martin, I know people have. That's the thing. Go into the EMP Facebook group and ask them how to do it, because there is a way to do it. Somehow, and I think, and actually it was Fernie that did it for me, because we have one. I'm not sure if I can bring it up here. Maybe. No, that's not it. And again, I'm in Fernie's account here, so don't. I don't think there's anything you guys could steal anyway. But let's see here. He basically, I think, you know what he did. Okay, so see that right there, Martin. This is what we did, and basically, I think how he did it was he just took. Yeah, see, now there was an old magnetic. You know what? There was an old magnetic sponsoring template up here. That he just changed. Let's see if there's something in here. You might want to try using this one. So you might want to try copying this Elite Marketing Pro one, and you might be able to copy it because it looks like there's that space right here, and you could probably put that image right in there. again, I'm not entirely sure. And this one too. So it looks like, and this isn't a video. This is just an image right there. So there's a way to do it. So what I would do would just be to go into create a new campaign. Name it demo, and I think you could just take. What was it? Was it Copywriters Guild or Building on I think it was Building on a Budget. I can't remember. Create and edit campaign. But you want to use the template. And not a logo. Styles. Try the sunset. And there's a way in here to change that image. And for the life of me, I'd have to fiddle around with it a little bit. Maybe it's the insert image. I don't remember offhand. I'd have to. Oh no, it's upload image. And here we go. We've even got this AMF bootcamp sample in here. So we'll just try inserting that into the post. Save all changes. This is really slowing down my computer right now. Let's see.
Actually, look at Hulu's slow too.
Yeah, I don't know. This is my sorry guys, my internet's slow right now. So, but Martin, that's kind of how you do it. So, I'd say go ahead and give it a try if you want. Copywriters Guild. Yeah, Try cloning a campaign, Martin, and see if that would work. All right. Gary still at the starting gate. Yeah, man. Gary, if you're doing attraction marketing formula, I would say go ahead and follow the guidelines that I just gave you at the beginning for network marketers, people in biz apps. You may even need to hand select your URLs, but I think you'll find that the quality is going to be a lot better. There we go. Let's see here. All right, Damien says I'm breaking up. Yeah, Damien, my my internet is having some issues right now. Is it better now? Yep, cool. All right, guys, let's see. Yeah, so basically, Martin, for that one, just go ahead and take and try cloning a campaign. I think that's obviously the best way to do it. It may not be, you may have to, it's a workaround, I think, at the very least. I think it's a quicker way to do it than trying to just do it from scratch. All right, who's up next? No, Damien, it's not Dave, it's Matt. I'm using somebody else's account. Question 1, Steve, question 1, queue up. Steve, did I miss it? Oh wait, here we go. Sorry, Steve, I scrolled down too fast. Do you find any difference in value / lead in traffic Vance versus 50 on red? No. Honestly, they're both pretty good. Traffic Vance has always been known as the best source of traffic out there. And they were very, very, very protective about the people and their visitors and the people running traffic with them. So much so that you had to have a referral from somebody that was running at least $50 a day worth of traffic to get into Traffic Vance. probably about a month ago, they stopped the referral process, so you can get in now. It is $1,000 to get in. I say I prefer Traffic Vance just because you can. I like the bidding process a little bit better. You can't constantly come over the top of somebody, and you don't really know if you're ever number one or number two. It more focuses you to set a budget and be selective about your keywords and your campaign as a whole. With that said, I think the quality is about the same. I think they both have good quality. They're both getting the people on their network from places like McAfee and um, good quality users, which means that they're the vendors they're dealing with that do the downloads, like the virus software and stuff, are good quality vendors. So I think both Traffic Vance and 50 on Red are great. It used to be Traffic Vance and Lead Impact. Lead Impact I don't recommend anymore. There's some shady stuff going on with there as far as they're breaking the cookies, or this is at least what I've heard, is that they're breaking the cookies on the capture page, which means you don't get credit for leads unless unless they're opting in or unless they're going on to your offer after the thank you page. So I would stay away from Lead Impact totally. I think 50 on Red though is a good one to be with, and Traffic Vance, I don't think you're going to see much difference in the value. Traffic Vance might end up being a little more expensive, just from what I found. So I guess if there's one thing you want to look out for is that Traffic Vance is going to be probably a little more expensive in this particular niche. All right. Thoughts on the page, Patrick? Fitness for forensics. I did want to see what you were running, man. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Patrick, are you doing this on PPV? Patrick, are you running this page on PPV? Come back to Patrick in a moment. Steve asks, "What's the cool little info bar above your website?" Oh, that's just for it's SEO. It's the SEO Quake button, the SEO Quake bar, which just gives you a whole bunch of stuff for SEO info on a website you go to. I've been getting into SEO lately, so I had it installed. It just if when you're looking at particular sites, it gives you the ranking info and whatnot, just for organic rankings. Does anyone use Fiverr to get target URLs? Any ideas on that? Target, Gary. I would. I've never used Fiverr. I've seen some people on Fiverr that'll do some scraping for you. Honestly, it's probably something you could do yourself, but I have heard some luck as far as people doing that. But I think one of the best things you could do, honestly, is go to this particular site. It's called SKR scrape.com. SKRAYP. It's paid. It's a paid solution, but it's only like $9 a month, and it's an awesome scraper. So I don't know. Let's see if I can log in. Yeah, I don't have the password. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have the password on me right now, but it's a paid scraper. It allows you to scrape like just so many results. It lets you manipulate the data really well. It makes your job a whole lot easier if you want to scrape something. Like if you get a bunch of keywords, it lets you scrape competition's keywords as well. PPV target keywords. It lets you scrape PPV target videos. Even though I don't find that YouTube URLs get a whole lot of traffic. Yeah, keyword scraping. So if you Just want and you can scrape keywords too. It'll give you a whole bunch of keyword ideas as well. So it's cheap. I want to say it's 10. Oh, it went up a little bit. $10 a month. So I'd say if you guys want to hit it like really hard, pay $10 for a month and just scrape a whole bunch of URLs, and you can go ahead and you can cancel with that. They have country specific, language specific. If you're running ads in other countries, I'm not, for example, but yeah, it's a pretty cool. It makes life a lot easier if you want to scrape a lot of stuff. I found it to be a really worthwhile tool. Okay, so Patrick, I want to come back to yours. You said you're running this on PPV. If you're not, this is a WordPress site, correct? Yeah, it says WordPress content up here in the bar. So a couple things on this. And I don't know how the speed's coming and how it's showing up on PPV, but keep this in mind that WordPress it slows websites down if you're using WordPress. So like for example, if you're using OptimizePress, and you don't see a whole lot of people using OptimizePress for PPV anymore because WordPress slows down a website. So when you need your website to pop up really quickly, you'll find the reason we want it to be very simple, basic, is because we want it to pop up quickly so it doesn't get in the way. So if, for example, if somebody's looking at a particular site and you get your pop-up on there, and it hasn't loaded yet, what do you think they're going to do? They're not going to wait around for the ad to load. No, they're going to close it out just like you and I would. So one thing I'd be worried about, and I'm not sure how this is doing, but if this whole particular motion thing is slowing down your site at all and affecting your conversions, I would look into that. It says it's WordPress, but it looks like this is HTML. So I'm wondering if you're maybe running this on if it's just an HTML page that you're running on a private server. I would consider. I don't like how small this is, personally. I love the headline. I do. I think the headline's awesome. I would love to see you, maybe test without this background, move this headline over to the center, and just make it bigger. Make this bigger, because when this pops up, hold on here. I mean, they're probably seeing this amount. It's not bad. Like I said, I mean, it's interesting. I'd like to see you test it with a bigger headline and move it over to the center to see if that headline. I think you'll get an idea about the headline, because obviously the big thing right here is this background, and I would like to see you test it without that background, because I'm curious how, if this video in here is slowing down your page at all. Because if it's slowing down your page, it could be that a lot of people aren't even seeing your ad yet. So I would imagine if it is slowing your page and you change that, you're going to see some conversions. Maybe just make it a still image, for one, rather than going by. But again, I mean, if it's working for you and if it loads fast enough, I think absolutely great. However, I would say a lot of people don't, just because, obviously it looked fast on mine, but I'm running on a Mac. There's a lot of people that don't have Macs, and a lot of people have PCs that have downloaded much more than just PPV toolbars. So their computers are probably running pretty slow, and I'm not sure how fast this would be coming up on the average person's computer. Patrick, you have your own server. Yeah, okay, yeah, it might be running faster if you've got your own server, so this might be good. But I'd say one thing to test would be just with a static background. All right, let me go back up here. All right, Damien, I'm going to use your landing page here. Yeah, I like it. Recruit hundreds of reps online. Yeah. Well, what I would do if I were you, I'd just split test this between this one right here, and then moving it, getting rid of this, getting rid of the image, and seeing what your conversions are. That's what WWRBD. What would Russell Brunson do? Um, you have ebook in here twice. You might want to take one of those out. You could just say free, and then this 15-page ebook, because you have free ebook. This simple 15-page ebook seems a little redundant, but it's might not hurt conversions. Don't really know until you test though. But yeah, I like it. Like I said, try split testing without the image and see, move this over to the center. But ultimately, I think you got a good one there, man. I like the headline. Let's see. What else do we got here? Who else is on tonight? Caroline, how are you doing? Any more questions, guys? Let's see here. Steve, any one PPV tool that you recommend we should be using? Yes, and I'll give you a couple. First is this scrape. I think this will make life a lot easier. Okay, so let me preface this with, I think if you're starting out, use scrape.com. It's cheap, it's helpful, and it saves you a lot of time. Just to scrape keywords. Once you get more advanced, when you're making money and you find you really like PPV and you really want to find some targets, and you want to really go and find those targets that are that not a whole lot of people are running, but they're getting traffic, go to this site. It's AEA Tools. I think it's AEA Tools. Yep. So these guys, I actually met them at No Excuses last year, Rich and Frederick. They run NAM Offers, which is a CPA site, but they essentially, AEA Tools used to be AF Tools or AF Portal. It's essentially this guy that he's a whiz at coming up with all sorts of online tools. He sold it to them. And basically you can do a whole bunch of different stuff with this. I mean, you can, as far as scrapers go, I mean, it will scrape all advertisers from Google. So say you want to, you have like something like MLM leads, it would scrape all the stuff all the ads that are on the side. It would just scrape those. Competition. So what it would do is if you had say attraction marketing formula, it would scan attraction marketing formula, look for keywords in other direct competitors and by organic search in other sites. It's going to give you a whole bunch of different URLs. Index scraper, it's sort of helpful. It can be if you've got some less competition, less competitive niches. Organic competition scraper, again, up to 500 direct competitors in organic search, and this is done through just scanning the website that you enter in, and then finding out, obviously organically what other websites are out there that have a lot of similar words in them. So you're going to find stuff that those are the kind of tools that are going to find you some keywords that you're going to have a hard time finding on your own through manual scraping or keyword, looking through like Google scraping or, going from website to website. Paid search, and then they got other stuff like Pinterest. I've never gotten a whole lot of traffic from Pinterest, individual Pinterest URLs. It's a lot like Facebook and YouTube. You get some if it's a highly trafficked, but it's not dependable, and it's kind of eh. Search similar websites. It's another really good one. Yeah, YouTube scrapers, a whole bunch of different stuff. If you want to do this, I'd say they give you a 14-day trial. So I'd say if you're at the point where you're pretty decent with PPV, you've got the hang of it, and you want to play around with some of this stuff is a lot of fun to try out. Go ahead and do that. Oh, I'm sorry. It says like the trial is $1. Then it's like 37 monthly or semi-annual or annual. These guys do a really good job servicing this stuff. I know them personally. Domain competition, keyword modifier. So let's go back up here. Ooh, sorry, I don't want to make you guys sick. Obviously, it does keywords too. It goes from Bang, eBay. A lot of this stuff isn't going to matter in the internet marketing market or the MLM market, but you can build lists of keywords, question phrases, so it'll give you like keyword suggestions, tools, so it'll like find display ads for you. Tools returns a list of websites that are frequently visited by users of search domains. Keyword modifier. Some of this. So Steve, this is like a really there's a lot of good stuff in here, man. So I'd say once you start to get the hang of PPV, go for something like this and test it out with your 14-day trial. You'll have a lot of fun if you're enjoying PPV. And you'll get a lot of good targets from that too. Sometimes, though, I will tell you, sometimes they can return back targets that are very broad, like Facebook.com, and it's just the way that the algorithms are. They also have like squeeze page builders in here, so if you want to build like an HTML squeeze page or a landing page, some of this stuff is more used by CPA marketers. And there's tutorials on everything, so these are it's all good stuff. And I think they actually have spy tools, like a preview with box of ads. They worked out some sort of deal with box of ads on here too. That'll give you some sort of, if you go to a particular site, it will, if you go like search for johnchow.com, it'll show you what ads are popping up on John Chow, or at least some of them. I don't think it's a full subscription, but so check that out. All right, let's see here. Patrick, got another one for me to look at. Yeah, I like that one. I had I'm not a big fan of the name, collecting the name on there, because I just think it's going to lower your conversion rate. But that's up to you. You know, I think it's the headline's the more important. But I mean, if you want to collect names, I say go for it. I had a web page. I had one I tested probably back in last spring, where I was doing something similar, where I had a muscle bound attractive female on the left and the headline on the right, and I was just advertising and sending them to a clickbank ad while I was building a health and wellness niche, a list in the health and wellness niche, and that worked out pretty well with the photo in there. One thing I ended up doing, though, that really made it work was split testing the image. So watch this unusual presentation for the amazing 6 minutes of skinny secret of a working California mom. I don't know how I feel about that headline. Watch this unusual presentation for the amazing 6 minutes to skinny secret of a. It doesn't really. I'd almost want to have like a benefit, like something like watch this unusual presentation or watch this presentation for an unusual trick of how this, for this unusual secret of how this California working mom got skinny in 6 minutes a day, or something like that. I look at that and I'm not like, I'm a little curious, but I'm just not a big fan of how that's worded. I think the headline could be a little bit better. It's just a little confusing to me. Okay. But other than that, I mean, I know this format worked on PPV for me before. Well, the one thing that made it killer, I didn't have the name in there, but I also split tested this image here on the left. So Oh, May. I have one such MLM login that has a lot of traffic, 800 impressions, a couple days, and 3 conversions. So I paused it. Do you think it'd be worth it to test a page, a specific company like you described with the background? Yes, I do think it would be worth it. Um, you get a lot of impressions. I'd say do a test of how much May did you spend on that? Were the 800 impressions cheap? For example, were they like a penny a piece or 2 pennies a piece? Because that's a low conversion rate. However, you did get some. So that's about if it's something like Amway.com or I'd imagine that's going to be what your conversion rate would be. Uh, okay, I'll come back to you. Um, Martin says, Matt, what's your thought on promoting a lower cost product versus higher cost product through EMP? One thought I have is if I'm paying for PPV advertising, why not promote something with a higher price? But then again, I guess it really depends on the URLs I'm targeting too. So here's what I do, Martin, and this is I don't know if a lot of you probably know who Ryan Dice is. Ryan Dice is Perry Belcher. They own Digital Marketer, and the concept's not new, but it's essentially it's what they call as a tripwire product, which is a low cost product to get somebody into to get them into a sales funnel and identify them as a buyer. Now, basically, what the issue is getting somebody to buy something online is a lot like dating. If you were to go and you were to ask somebody out, if you were to go and ask somebody to marry, go up to somebody at a bar and say, "Hey, would you like to marry me?" Obviously, they're going to throw a drink in your face. They don't know you. You haven't built any sort of relationship up with them. They're not going to tie the knot with you. The same thing has, you generally want to go up to somebody at a bar and you want to buy them a drink first and have some conversation with them, get to know them, build a relationship with them. Same thing comes to when somebody's online, when somebody's shopping, when somebody's looking for more information. I mean, they're not going to jump in and get an expensive product from you right off the bat because they have no idea who you are. They have no they're not online looking for they're online looking for information. They're online looking for something that's they're opting in because they're curious of what you got, and if you hit them with an expensive offer, it's not really going to work. I can tell you, for example, so that's why I advocate building a list, building a relationship with them, doing a webinar, but also putting that low cost offer up front. So I found that AMF has worked because it can be as low as $27. I think a lower offer is even better sometimes if you're not running your own offers. I know EMP has a dollar trial. I don't know. I haven't tested that on PPV, the dollar trial for EMP yet. Um, I know they're going to be running the acceleration, and I don't know what that's going to be, but I think that's going to have a tripwire offer in it that's going to be launching here pretty soon. I will tell you, when I brought out my product Lead Thief and it was selling for $297, I actually did try running some ads on PPV and it sucked. Basically, I took them through like a 3-day funnel, and which isn't enough time to build up to a 297 product. You really need a longer funnel with a webinar for that. And it just didn't work out well because it was too high end of a product. Now, what would I have done? And I did this because Lead Thief, when it came out, we had a very short period of time to promote it because we were just doing a limited pre-launch. I know there's gonna be a bigger launch later on in 2015, but I had a small window, so it's not like I could set them through, come up with an entire tripwire offer. But here's what I would have done had I promoted, like, wanted to sell them that 297 thing with Lead Thief, because I would have given them some sort of tool and tried to sell them that for like $1 or 290, or like $1 or $7, and then move them on to get them in and get them into Lead Thief. I would identify them as buyers first, or what I would do is I would give them away a free tool, something they could really use, something that makes their life a lot easier, and get them on the list, get them engaged, so that you're memorable, and then do a webinar. that's honestly the best way I do it, and that's the way I've had the most success with PPV is giving away free tools. So one of the things I found that had worked really good for me was giving away like an autoresponder sequence that's worked in the past before. You know, copy and paste this autoresponder, this 3-day autoresponder sequence that will turn leads into buyers. You know, that's so it's like, oh my god, I could just copy and paste that. You know, well, I mean, you can't just you have to personalize it a little bit, but it's something that makes somebody else's life easier. It's memorable, and something that they'll consume quickly. And then I build the relationship with them on my email list, and then all what I'll do is I'll offer a $297 webinar to EMP, and that's working out pretty well for me. That's how I sell EMP. I don't sell EMP $297 on the front end. I found some of the other small offers that EMP has. There's I believe it's the blog offer. It's either the blog or the video code. It's like $7. That's a good tripwire. That's in fact Tim and Matt designed that based off of what Ryan and Perry have done at Digital Marketer. They've designed that as a tripwire offer to get people into the EMP funnel, and that works really well too. The Facebook code is another one that's worked well with PPV before. That's a little bit higher. It's like $49, but I find that people they opt in a lot. It gets a pretty decent. If you get them to opt in, it gets a pretty decent conversion rate. So what I'll end up doing a lot of times is I will have my own lead magnet. Then on the thank you page, what I would say is, in fact, I'll show you. I did this one with lead pages, I believe. There. I got so many sub accounts. I don't know if it was in this one or if it was in another account I have. This isn't the one. I'm trying to see if I've got, because I can't show you guys like my client accounts. I may not be able to show this to you guys, but yeah, it's not in here. But basically what I did was I just created the thank you page, and you can do the same thing with the EMP capture page builder, but say thank you for your free download or the whatever it is that you requested. That was your free lead magnet. It's in your inbox. By the way, if you're interested in doing something with let's go to the Facebook offer right now. I don't know why my internet is so slow today. All right, so this particular one, what I would do is I would say if you're interested in some Facebook cheat sheets that will help you build high converting ads, something along those lines with the copy, check it out below. And I'd say probably about 80% of the people would, after they opt in, they're going to go ahead and at least want to take a look at it. And I'd send them to this capture page, and this does a really good job of getting the leads opt in. People really like this headline for some reason. Maybe it's the image over on the side. And I've also found out it converts pretty good too. So that's what I typically do if I'm running to like internet marketers or even multi-level marketing audiences. If I've got my own lead magnet up there. So I found out that makes nice. And then a lot of times what I'll find is that after they buy the Facebook Power Sheets, they'll then buy the one-click upsell to, or I don't know if it's a one-click upsell, but they'll buy the upsell to Elite Marketing Pro. So I found these other offers in here too. The video script one. Yeah, see, this is a really good this video script one. After they opt in, it's a $7 offer. That's a tripwire. It's a low dollar offer. It's like an impulse buy. It gets them into the system, identifies them, but it's a buyer. And then a lot of times what they'll do is well, I mean, not a lot of times, but maybe 30% of the time they'll buy the one click upsell. So these I found that they work really well because they're low cost. They're yeah, and then once people get in that buying mode that they want to be like, oh my god, I want more. Something in their brain, it's the dopamine in their brain gets them to pull out their wallets and their credit cards. So I found those really work really well, Martin. But on PPV, an expensive item to start out with, no, I that doesn't convert. I've tested it on Lead Thief and it didn't work at all. Let's see. Patrick on SEO Quake. Yeah, I use it. I don't use it as much anymore. A lot of times I'll turn it off. To be honest with you, I do the stuff I've been doing with SEO. I have a few like stuff like Majestic and a few other things I use. SEO Quake just it gets more annoying for me now. Damien, I'm using 30 million VSL formula for 47. Awesome. Donald, yes, it's recorded. Okay, May, going back to your question, I saw you answered me below. You have the MLM where it's 800 impressions, and it was 4 cents an impression. You spent $18.50 for 900 impressions, 3 conversions. Yeah, it might be worth testing it. If you want to give me the URL, type the URL in here. Nobody else will see it. I can let you know what I think if I've tested it before. Um, yeah, I think that's a good one, May. I'd give that a try. You could even shorten that up to just the .com and see what happens. You might get more traffic, but if you're getting traffic to that, I would give that a try. I think it's worth it. Let's see here, Martin. Yeah, I like the EMP sales funnel you went through as well. Yeah, and again, building relationships through emails, guys. Best thing to do, I think, is to either to really work on your relationships off an email. So there's two different people in email I recommend. One's Ben Settle. I'm sure you guys know who he is already. Andre Chaperone with Autoresponder Madness. I really think Andre is good. I love his stuff. I think takes more time because you got to plan it. But I think it works really well. So I think both are really good. I think Ben is more if you want to go with like the guru route. And I think that works really well as far as that goes too. And it's just developing your own personality. I mean, the thing is the big key to this stuff, guys, is get consistent. Because what happens is people will go out, they'll get some leads, they don't buy right away. They'll write emails for a week, and it's like, oh, this is hard work, and nobody's converting. Well, yeah, no duh, because you're not that good yet. You're gonna have to get better at this stuff. And 99% of people quit after a week because they just don't think they think it's not working and this is too difficult. Send out, you got to make relationships with your list and literally make time every morning make 30 minutes every morning to write an email. And that's the only way you're going to get good at it is if you be consistent about it, because you know what? You don't even have to be that awesome of an email writer. You just need to be consistent. Literally, that's if you're just at least consistent about that, you treat this like a business and you treat it like you're really and you dedicate time each day to be able to do this stuff, you're going to be ahead of 99.9% of the people out there, guys. It's really not that hard. It's just a matter of being consistent. These leads you're getting from PPV, they start converting after a while, but it's just it's all about being consistent and keep doing it when people are quitting. Got 3 leads with this ad yesterday, Gary. Cool. Were you, I'm assuming you were talking with one of the about one of the capture pages I put up there. Yeah, these these low cost EMP ones, they work really well as far as I've never tested them to cold PPV traffic. I put them in a list. I think they work really well. If in it for like an email list, and I put them after a thank you page as well. I think they work really well as far as that goes too. I've never honestly put this particular page on tested it on cold PPV traffic. Just because I'm not, it might be something I do someday. I'm just not sure how well it would work. It'd be a good test though. It'd be interesting to try it out. Oh, Gary, that was Facebook. Okay. Yeah, I know. People are having a lot of luck with. I think it's the script formula on Facebook. These ones work a lot better for Facebook. I know some of these ones like AMF doesn't work for Facebook because it's got network marketing language in it. I don't do a whole lot of Facebook traffic. Lately, it's just been more PPV. But when I was doing some Facebook stuff, I know Nick Hobner. He does a lot of it, and he's having some really good results. I think the winning headline formulas too, were really good too. Okay. Anything else, you guys? Any other questions? Let me just go up and see if make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, guys. Questions? Going once? Going twice? And also remember, you can always... All right, Patrick. Yeah, we got another one here. Let's take a look at this. I'm launching an ad this week. Perfect. I like it. Again, I would get the name out, or get the name out of there, and then I would put this to sites where I know people are buying traffic, or BizOps sites. So you go into something like look for BizOps that are like, this is the perfect one right here. And I honestly, if you guys are part of this, here it is, mobile license rights program, part of this Facebook group. This Facebook group is the perfect case study on the mind of a opportunity seeker, the mind of somebody that's people that you need to study, product buyers. Just go in here, look at the language these people are using, and just, I mean, this is the kind of stuff. These people are in pain. They want your help. They're new in this. They don't know what to do. I mean, these are the people. These are your customers. I think this group right here. I think anybody, honestly, I think maybe anybody can join this at this point. I don't know how closely they watch out for this group and who goes in and out, but I would say groups like this, I mean, they need traffic because they don't learn how to generate their own traffic. They buy solo ads, or they spend a little bit of time learning traffic, and then they lose a little bit of money and they quit. So I think that's the kind of place, websites where people are already looking for traffic, and then these big things like Mob is a good one. Empower is probably another one. So maybe Empower Network. I think it was Mob. That Mob Office might be the login. Yeah, mobeoffice.com. That's the login for the My Online Business Empire. Empower.com secrets, all those kind of places where you've got the business opportunities and people aren't learning how to generate their own traffic, and they don't know, they're not investing themselves into this like you guys are. They're not investing into themselves to learn how to generate. They just want to buy it. That kind of headline I think would work really well. And I lost it anyway. Oh, there it is. Cool. Thank you. All right, guys. Cool. I will. I'm gonna sign off now, unless there's any other last minute questions. Again, you guys can always contact me in the Facebook group. I try to get back to you within a day. Usually, it just depends what's going on. But you guys have been also pretty helpful with each other as well. Feel free if you have any other questions, and we'll probably try to do one of these again here in the future. But thank you everybody for coming online tonight. I really appreciate you guys showing up. You guys are awesome investing in yourselves, and you guys are my rock stars of the group.